What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Triple Z podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Henry. Victor Wembanyama drops a career high 38 points as the Spurs defeat the Suns yet again in Phoenix. The Spurs got off to a great start in this game. 4 minutes going into the first quarter, they had a 13-0 lead on the Phoenix Suns. The Suns offensively had a slow start. Kevin Durant had to score 11 of the 20 points that they scored in the first quarter, bringing the game at the end of the quarter, 39-20. Devin Booker got into early foul trouble, so he wasn't able to set the tone early as well in the first quarter. Spurs basketball. There's a reason why they call it Spurs basketball. Offensively and defensively, they were all locked in. The Spurs shot 52% from the field, 49% three, and 92% from the free throw line. They also had 5 turnovers in the first half and ended the game with 8. Anytime you're able to take care of the ball that well, have like 8, 9, 10 turnovers, you're going to have a pretty decent chance of winning the basketball game. The Spurs also scored 58 points inside the paint, and that's due to the lack of interior defense that the Phoenix Suns do not have. So it was easy for players like Victor, Vassell, Sokan, Collins to score inside the paint. Now, in this game, the Spurs had the biggest lead of 27 points. But Phoenix was able to show some fight and make the game somewhat interesting going into the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, they had a 13. The Spurs had a 13-point lead, and the Suns were able to chop it down just a little bit. Devin Booker early in the fourth quarter had some great scoring moments, setting up his teammates very nicely. Kevin Durant got substituted halfway into the fourth quarter as well. He was able to knock down some shots, chop down the lead a little bit. Eubanks, and I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, Diop, I don't even know. Helped offensively as well, bringing the game to a 116 ball game. Now, in this moment, San Antonio, they're a young, inexperienced team. They just had a 27-point lead, and now it's tied. And now you're going against two great players in Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, two players that know what to do late in ball games when the game is tied or they need to take the lead to really win this game. But San Antonio was able to hold their ground as they closed out the game on a 16-5 run with 4 minutes and 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter. I find that very interesting that a team with Kevin Durant, a great scorer, and Devin Booker, another great scorer, those two players and your team was only able to generate 5 points in the fourth quarter. But that's not the hero there. Victor Wembanyama in that fourth quarter was absolutely sensational. 9 points in the fourth quarter. He was hitting free throws, making 3-point shots, mid-range, rebounding the ball. He could be effective with or without the ball, being a defensive anchor for the San Antonio Spurs, catching lobs, rolling to the rim. He can be effective all over the game. What really impressed me about Victor was his defense, because there was a lot of times where the Suns players would drive into the paint, but then they realized Victor's such a big body frame that it's kind of hard to score. So there was a lot of second guessing with a lot of the Phoenix Suns players, to the point where they had to kick it out to shoot us outside of the 3-point line. Now, granted, the Suns did shoot pretty well from the three, but it's easier to get points right at the rim. But Victor takes up so much space in the interior that it's much harder for the Suns to score. Now, it wasn't only Victor that had a great game. There was a lot of players for the San Antonio Spurs that really contributed to this win. Zach Collins, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 3 of 3 from three. Jeremy Sokan, 14 points, 9 assists. He did a pretty decent job of guarding Devin Booker late into that fourth quarter. Now, Vassell, he did get injured in the first half, but he did score 11 points in the first quarter to set the tone well for San Antonio, and he finished the game with 17 points. He also went 3 of 3 from the 3-point line. Osman, he had a couple of timely threes, 3 of 6 from 3. Trey Jones, 12 points and 10 assists off the bench. Himself and his brother are two great floor generals to have on your basketball team. I thought this was a great learning moment for the San Antonio Spurs. The first time they beat the Suns, they were down by like 20 points, and then they were able to tie it and then take the lead. And now you're put in a different position where you had the lead, you have a 27-point lead, but then the game is tied now. So now, most people will look at this as a situation where the San Antonio Spurs kind of fold a little bit, because due to the lack of experience and the players that they have, that's trying to, establish himself on this team. But the Spurs did a great job of holding their ground. And like I said, they closed the game on a 16-5 run. That's honestly just amazing, playing by the players and coaching by the San Antonio coaching staff. Overall, this game was very interesting to watch. The Spurs, able to beat the Suns in back-to-back nights, basically, on the Suns' home court. I find that was a very interesting win for the San Antonio Spurs. Victor played a great game overall. He was able to post up, score inside the paint, catch lobs, block, rebound. He can do it all in so many ways. He can be effective with or without the ball, like I said earlier. I found it very interesting also with the Suns. I wanted to say this earlier. I mean, it's early in the season, and we're already dealing with injuries for the Suns. I mean, Devin Booker. Now, granted, he missed 2, 3, 4 games. Maybe this is his first game back. I mean, he looked great. He almost dropped a near triple double. He got himself going, scoring late into the second, third, and fourth quarter, and he was able to dish out 13 assists. But the fact that they're already operating without Bradley Beal, I mean, this is an anticipated team that everyone wants to watch, and they're already dealing with injuries. So it's very unfortunate for the Phoenix Suns. Hopefully, they can be healthy later on in the season, and we can actually see them at full strength. But overall, this was a great game to watch. Victor played sensational, as well as Devin Booker, and I'm happy that the Spurs were able to come out with the win. Thank you guys for listening to the Triple Z podcast. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know down in the comment section what you thought about Victor Wembanyama's career night.